We are back for our 12 Guests of Christmas here on Popcorn Palace, and I'm so honored that it's Peter Ticktin, Samantha Markle's lawyer. Let's get into it, guys. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I'm Andy Signor. He's just here in the audio. That's our intro. He loves it. Oh man, they want privacy. I'm so glad you're here because we did a really good 2-part interview over on Popcorn Planet, but I wanted just to sort of talk to Peter more in general and get some insight about why he took the case. And one more part I didn't get to, which was just the Markle family in general. There's some clips out there that Meghan's spoken about, just sort of, I feel like defaming the whole family in general, and I wanted to get your thoughts. So welcome back. Thank you so much for your time, sir. You've been so generous with it. Let me just start the why. How did you get involved in this with Samantha? What was it about this case that got you interested? Can you give the audience a little bit of insight on that?
Well, I think that Samantha, I think once she saw that, I was representing Donald Trump on the case against Hillary Clinton, I think that she thought that maybe she should contact me, but I think that's what it was. But anyway, she did contact me.
And yeah, I have your book. Thank you for it. Whether you like Trump or not, you're going to want to know what makes Trump tick. And there it is, the book by Peter Ticktin. Because yes, you've had a very long, illustrious legal career. So she's very honored. Very good to have you on her side. But what was it specifically about the royals and all that made you go, you know what? Yeah, let's do this.
It just, it gets irresistible sometimes when you need to right or wrong. And this is over her head. This is something that it was happening to her. I could understand and see what it was. And once I started talking to Samantha, it would just, her case became so clear. It just, as I say, it's not even, and for her too, it's not even a matter of the money. It's not that. It's that there's something seriously wrong with this picture. And then later, that's when I realized that this couple a lot of things happened since we've been on the case. I mean, the whole exit and everything else. But these are not good people. These are people. I don't even think this guy should even be in this country where he's trying to take away our liberty. The First Amendment is the First Amendment because it's vital to all the amendments. It's vital to the entire Bill of Rights, the freedom of speech. When we lose the freedom of speech, we lose the freedom of thought. We no longer have access to variable ways of looking at different things if we can only see one thought. We're only allowed to prescribe to or say one thought. And that's where this country, well, that's where the world is going. And in Canada, look what happened to Jordan Peterson, a psychologist there, who dared to say something bad about Trudeau. You're not allowed to do that in Canada. You're not allowed to speak badly about your leaders. Or there are ramifications where now his license is under review, and they're requiring him to be re-educated so that his mind will then conform to the party line. Well, we don't have a party line in the United States. So much of the world has already gone that way, though, that I think the United States is about the last place left. And, so if we can fight this, then it's a noble cause. If we can fight for freedom for the American people, which is something that's necessary now, hasn't been necessary my whole life. It's necessary now. And so this was one of the fields, one of the areas, one of the fronts in the war that needed to be manned. And we stepped up and we're doing the job.
I'm glad you are. And it's so interesting, the irony of it all, because yeah, this really is a battle of free speech. Meghan and Harry want to control what that is, but then their mouthpiece, I don't know if you've been following the latest news with Omid Scobie. We call him Liebrows here on the channel, and his Endgame book. It's just amazing because he's trying to, their media is silencing him. He's trying to speak the truth. He's spouting all the stuff that you're saying, but it's just odd and ironic coming from Team Meghan and all this that's happened. I'm just curious, have you followed this Endgame drama and him accidentally releasing these racist names and so on, and Meghan and Harry have been silent?
in the
As a
Dutch,
lawyer, I'm just curious, what were your thoughts on all of that going down?
that it's obvious, it's impossible for him to have made some kind of a mistake the way he's talking about it, because it's only in the Dutch translation. So it means that he had to have sent those names to be put into the Dutch translation so that he could basically try to make some kind of an excuse for what he's revealed. These people are all dishonest, and they lie, and they're so good at looking as though they're offended, or they're the ones that are being lied to, and it's them. It's them. These are creepy people. Look, think about Meghan Markle, for instance, for a second. Okay,
I'll
if you
try.
were
I'm going to try just for you, but go ahead.
okay, yeah, yes. I mean, look, if you were to have people provided to give you personal assistance, personal help, even to get dressed or whatever, and you end up losing a person because they don't like you or you don't like that. Well, it could be your fault, it could be theirs. You get 3 or 4, and then still, it looks a little bit more like it's going to be Markle that's doing it rather than these individuals who just can't stand her or something like that. Because, you get 3 or 4, that's a lot. But then what happens when you get up to 7 and 8? Well, then obviously there's something wrong with her if everybody's quitting on her. And what happens when you got literally 17 people that can't stand working for this woman, okay, and leave their employment at you know, in the palace? I mean, people give their eye teeth to be in that position, but not if that meant working for her. Okay, so you have all these people that can't stay employed with her. You've got all the people in her past, none of which she can make up with again and go with, because it's counter to her psychological makeup. She can't possibly do that. So, she goes through people, and once she can't use somebody anymore, they're done. I mean, that's what I'm saying. These aren't good people. Harry, I can't figure him out. I mean, obviously, he wants to end the freedom of speech in the United States. He made that clear. But at the same time, was he just used? I mean, you got a woman who, I understand, don't know for sure if it's true or not, but the word is that she used Diana's perfume on her first date with Harry.
I've
That
heard
that's
that
that's
rumor.
not a
Yep.
date. That's a psyop operation. That's where she
It
is
is.
basically targeting that fella in order to be able to take over his life. And remember Harry, who used to be this happy guy that everybody loved because he was a happy guy. He's not a happy guy anymore. And I think that she may be just done with him too now, and going on with the pretext of them being happy. I don't know if you saw their latest Christmas card, but it's only Harry and Meghan on the Christmas card. I don't know of any family. I've never seen a family that didn't put the children on a Christmas card. I've never seen it. Here it is. It's just Harry and Meghan for Christmas. I mean, Christmas is like the children's holiday.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of family is this that just put
It's
the
like, looks like
couple?
it's like people applauding them. They're like, yes, look at all these people we're with. It's very narcissistic. It is strange, the choice.
It's not strange when you realize that they are narcissistic. They are narcissists.
Do you believe he is though? Like, because I'm with you. I've less empathy for him now. I got to admit, because I felt, oh, poor Harry. I love Diana. He lost his mom. Like, he's been trying to fight I think we were all rooting for him, but I think Meghan has really brought his stock down incredibly. And you realize quickly, oh no, he's just as guilty as she is. Do you feel that way too? Is there a part of you that felt for him, but
Yeah,
that's starting to
exactly.
wane?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yes, except once I learned about the Aspen Institute and that he's one of the 50 governors that dictates what is misinformation on the internet, I realized that he's into this thing up to his neck. He's not just a tool.
The Aspen Institute, yeah. This is there it is. But here he is, one of the I guess a large proponent of it. It is strange how they're out there. He did just win a lawsuit though against the media, the press. He did win some money. Did that surprise you that he was able to beat some of the tabloids?
Yeah, for a third of what he was seeking. Uh, I mean, when you have a 7-week trial, there's no way that you can have a 7-week trial that's not going to cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of pounds, because you've got a whole team of lawyers that are working in advance of that to get the whole thing ready. And 7 straight weeks of 16-hour days is what trials entail. Uh, there's no way he didn't lose money on the deal. And this couple is extremely litigious. This is one of the few places where they're defending the case.
Right.
They just don't even understand their vulnerabilities here, because we have the right to get information. I intend to ask a number of questions that's going to show things that are part of the case, but a little collateral to it.
Well, I'm glad you brought it back, because I want to end on this, because we tease this in the other ones, but about how sort of they treat the Markles in general. And in that Netflix documentary, they set up this whole idea. It's amazing what people will do for money to create these stories. And then she paints this story about how her father was staging pictures and how everyone's all upset. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What kind of pictures? And it's just stuff him getting for the wedding, regardless. Even if he got paid some for doing some of these photos, it didn't feel that embarrassing. Like, who cares really at the end of the day? Good. He needs to get some money to help him. If he did, I wouldn't have faulted him the way Meghan paints it. And even she's like, all right, well, let's just get you out of there, whatever. And then, he says it's not true, blah, blah, blah. And in fact, let me play this. It's so performative.
And it felt really cagey.
So many artistic, like B-roll.
Doesn't make sense.
Whispering to herself. It's so overly performed.
I looked at H. I was like, I don't know why, but I don't believe him.
Now, there's a theory that she was cutting off her dad's side just because she was embarrassed by them. And that's what's out there. And then so she then proceeds to Paps are following him. Apparently he had some heart condition. And then she finds out via TMZ, which now suddenly she's trusting TMZ, that, he's not coming to the wedding. She then calls after she reads that he's having some heart issues and heart scares. She can't reach him. I'm back in the hospital. Well, please call us. We're not mad. We're not mad. And she basically, after this whole situation of her dad disappearing, having this heart scare, these weird publicity images, cuts off her own father. What are your thoughts on this, sort of as the scope of Meghan in general? When you hear this, does it surprise you?
No, nothing about her surprises me ever. Okay. I mean, there's rumors out there that these children were born from surrogate moms and so on. I don't know what's true, what's not true. I'm not saying that they were, but it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing about her surprised me. She lives in a life of fiction. We get one chance. We go through life once. I'm not talking about any afterlife or whatever. Believe whatever you want to believe. People should believe what they want, what's in them to believe. But when you look at this, liars are people who lose their souls. Instead of going through this experience of our lives, once you start lying to yourself, and you don't even know what the truth is anymore, what fiction is. So that's what I mean by you give up your soul. And this is a person who has no soul as far as I look at it. So nothing about her. I mean, look, I hope I don't sound like I'm hateful towards her, because I'm not. I almost feel sorry for her, except for the fact that she hurt so many people so badly. I mean, her father, we thought, was dying of a stroke in the hospital, and she doesn't even, I mean, I don't know of a daughter or a woman that has empathy that would not fly in. Irrespective.
Why would that be bad press?
He
right?
said that.
It wouldn't be bad press to show up to your dying father. What is she worried about?
She just doesn't get it, because people that suffer from her ailment, her condition, don't get it. They don't understand it, because they don't feel it themselves.
A lack of empathy.
It's a lack of empathy. But people say, well, that's the thing that's wrong, but that's huge. And believe me, I'd rather be without my legs than without empathy, without normal human feelings for those that you know and love and so on. I mean, how do you live your life like that? But they do, and there's a lot of people in that condition. This isn't so rare. I remember reading at one point that the male workplace is 5% of psychopaths, and psychopaths are and sociopaths are pretty well the same thing, except sociopaths cause harm to people, where a psychopath might not have empathy, but they follow the rules and they behave themselves. So.
Because there's a manipulation on it, because the last thing I wanted to show you is as she's hearing this
Which is also a
Oprah,
really key point in all this. They don't
as she's talking about that and whether she performative again of whether she wants to talk about it. But she tells this story. I don't want to keep watching her. It's annoying me. But she tells this story to Oprah, right? And she says, like, we have one shot where the institution can shut a story down. And if we use it, we won't be able to protect our kids later. Should we use it? Dad, should we use it? And it's this weird, like, story that's so like, what do you mean they're never going to be able to protect your kids later? But she reinforces and she repeats it multiple times to Oprah how telling it was as a mom. I would have never done that to my kids. So she's putting this weird hypothetical story to Oprah of why she's disowned him, because in that instance she could have shut the story down, but they would have used their one favor and then they couldn't use it for their kids later. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Isn't that story so bizarre? Like, what is she talking about? It's so manipulative.
It's a pathetic situation. But when you think about it, for instance, the lie about her own marriage, that they got married 3 days before. Now, we all know that that's false. The Archbishop, we called the Archbishop and he came over, like, they got control of this man, the Archbishop, and he came over and we had a private ceremony, just the three of us, contrary to the law of England as well, which requires 2 witnesses. But nevertheless, and he came over and he married us 3 days before the official, because we just wanted a private thing just for us, okay, which is insane to begin with. But and the Archbishop has no recollection of any such wedding, and there's certainly nothing in the books to show that they were married 3 days before. I mean, it's a lie. So you got to ask yourself, why in the world would anybody make that kind of a crazy lie? And, there's possibilities for it. Perhaps it was to show her power of being able to manipulate the narrative, to adjust the matrix out there, and use her power to basically tell Harry, you better shut up, because she has a lot of power and control of things. Or perhaps it was just to show off to Harry. I mean, at the time she was saying that, Harry was like this, right? He wasn't part of that. So I think he was the intended recipient of that. Look what I can do on national television. I can make the world believe that we were married 3 days before. And, what those that don't believe, well, they won't be around later anyway, or they won't count or whatever. So we can make our own narrative, because I think it's getting apparent that we are living in something that I like to call a matrix.
Indeed, red pill or blue pill. I don't know, audience. You decide in the comments, but fantastic having you here. I could do it all day. Please come back. I give you the final word. Anything you'd like to tell the audience or send the audience to, or anything they can do to help you in Samantha's case?
Well, if anybody has any information that can help, by all means, send it to me at PT, my initials, like piano, or Papa Tango, pt@legalbrains.com.
There you go.
That's how you can reach me.
Only if you have good intel. Don't just start bothering them and spamming up this email.
Yeah, I'm not going to
please.
respond to things that aren't. Please don't just.
But for real, if you got some interesting insights, send it over to Peter. We will do that. Such an honor, sir. Thank you for giving us this time. And audience, please go thank him as well. You can pick up his book, etc. We really appreciate it. I hope to have you back Enjoy the rest of your holidays, and thank you for being one of our 12 guests as well. And if you missed the full interview, the 2-part interview is pretty awesome. Head on over to Popcorn Planet to catch that. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get alerted like Peter is. He watches. I hope you are too. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the comments down below. What do you think? Red pill, blue pill. Is she a psychopath? Tell us down below. We appreciate your thoughts. Have a wonderful holiday, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching.